What's up, guys? How's it going? Mr. Popping up out of nowhere for another ODFP showcase. And in today's showcase, we are going to be looking at Adam Smith, a man who lived between the years of 1723 to 1790. And he had a nickname. He was known as the father of modern economics, okay? 1723 to 1790. Now, in order to understand Adam Smith and what he believed in, let's talk about his background. He was a Scottish moral philosopher, pioneer of political economy, and a key figure in the Scottish Enlightenment. Smith is best known for two classic works, The Theory of Moral Sentiments in 1759, and his most famous work, An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of the Wealth of Nations in 1776, which was later abbreviated to simply being known as The Wealth of the Nations. Smith is cited as the father of modern economics and is still among the most influential thinkers, all right, thinkers, not stinkers, in the field of economics today. Now, Adam Smith believed in a little theory called laissez-faire, which was a doctrine that opposed government interference in economic affairs. Essentially, the government would have a hands-off approach, and the economy would be regulated by the laws of supply and demand, not by the government. Essentially, the government has no role within the economic affairs that shape a country or its society. All right? And Smith is going to have a couple ideas that he's going to argue for with his ideology of capitalism. In his influential work, The Wealth of the Nations, he argued that the free market should be allowed to regulate business activity. Smith tried to show how manufacturing, trade, wages, profits, and economic growth were all linked to the market forces of supply and demand. Wherever there was demand for goods or services, he said suppliers would later seek to meet the demand in order to gain cha-ching profits. Eventually, these ideas would later shape the productive economies of the industrial age in the 18 and 1900s. And what you have to understand is that this idea of capitalism and laissez-faire is going to replace an outdated system in mercantilism. Physiocrats, which are economists founded in the 18th century France, they believed that government should not interfere with the economy and were big supporters of laissez-faire. And they believed that land is the source of all wealth. They rejected mercantilism because it required government regulation of the economy to achieve a favorable balance of trade. Physiocrats also supported free trade and opposed tariffs. Now, how is Adam Smith going to later impact the Industrial Revolution? You have to understand this. During the Industrial Revolution, guys, the world was becoming more global, and trading was no longer done in a local manner. All right, we were going from different continent to different continent, trading different goods or services. With the age of exploration and colonial powers and empires being built, the world became connected through global trade. By establishing networks and markets on all continents, traders and merchants could now gain a higher demand for their products and therefore acquire a higher profit. Cha-ching, baby, a lot of money. All right. In order to do this, many business owners created what was called the factory system, which allowed for the mass production of goods to be met for the global consumer. This is going to shift people from production at home to now producing at the factory. And this is going to allow for the prices of the goods to be dropped because there's going to be more of a supply to meet the growing demand. As a result, the countries that adopted Smith's economic capitalist principles and industrialized the quickest would later become the most powerful countries in the world. Now, there's going to be a couple of effects that are going to take place with these countries adopting a capitalist society, and they're as stated right here. As stated earlier, capitalism emerged with the decline of feudalism and mercantilism. Capitalism is based on two things: trade and capital, which is money needed for investment. Higher demand for a product is going to lead to basically new prices and higher profits. As a result of this, new business practices are going to be developed in order to meet the growing demand that we are seeing now in a global trade network. For instance, partnerships and joint stock companies were established and were created to help business transform into corporations. And we are also going to see more and more individuals invest capital, known as stock, to help these corporations grow into being more and more powerful. All right? Banks also were established with the advent of capitalism and provided money lending services to individuals, married couples, and businesses who would want to establish new industries and new businesses. So with that being stated, ladies and gents, Adam Smith, the father of economics, considered to be really the founder of capitalism, his ideas produced in the book, The Wealth of Nations, are what's ultimately going to shape the global trade that we see take place during the industrial age of not only Europe, but also the Western world and the United States of America. Alright, that's all I got for this ODFP showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Mr. Allen, signing off. See you guys later. Take care.